Hello there, everybody. My name's Elizabeth, the Education Coordinator for Marlene's Market and Deli. This afternoon's wonderful guest that we have with us is Laura King, Holistic Health Coach. Hey, Laura, thanks so much for being here with us.
Hello, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course. And you are educating us today on plant protein. We're very excited.
Yeah, that's right. And I really appreciate everybody tuning in today because there's a lot of information that's kind of confusing out there, and just kind of like to create a little bit more clarity and understanding.
Wonderful. You're demystifying those myths and clarifying.
Yes, definitely.
Wonderful.
All right. So I'll take it away. Are we ready?
Oh yeah, take it away.
All right. Cool. So my name is Laura King. I'm the owner of Heart Centered Holistic Coaching Practice. I'm a vegan integrative nutrition health coach. I specialize in vegan and plant-based lifestyle and transition support, as well as positive health transformation through problem solving and heart-centered action. There's a lot of information out there, and it can be really confusing, especially like if you want to live a certain way and eat a certain way, and you're constantly bombarded with concern and questions that you're not getting enough nutrition or you don't know what you're doing. And it's not really a one size fits all. I think we all know that about diet and lifestyle. But if you want to live a certain way, especially more plant-based, I hope that I can share some things with you today that will help you do that. Feel a little bit more confident, or if you have people in your life who are eating more plant-based, that you can feel more confident that they're getting their needs met as well. So I'd love to share my PowerPoint screen, and we'll go from there. Let me know when it's up. Or maybe, do I have to share my screen? That's a good question. I've never done this before. I would like, this is my first workshop and my first live and my first, if it gets posted, when it gets posted to YouTube. Okay, this is the one thing I forgot to ask about, is how to share my screen.
All right.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there you go.
All right. There we are. Okay, awesome. Everybody can see it? Cool. All right. So here's my contact information, and I will share that again later. We'll just jump right in. So the big question, what is protein? I'll get to this in just a second, but I just want to make a note that it's not always about what protein is. Like, we know we need that, but same with carbohydrates and fat. It's a lot of people have in their head like what protein means to them. So you hear protein and instantly you might go straight to one category of food or types of dishes or things like that. But it's so much more vast, and knowing exactly what protein is can help us maybe redefine what it means to us, and open the possibilities. Would anybody like to share their perspective on protein? We can share it in the chat box, or somebody who wants to raise their hand and can share. Open discussion a little bit.
I know a lot of folks have questions about amino acids.
Okay. Yeah, actually, well, I guess if that's the next slide, actually. So maybe do we want to just jump right into there? Is anybody asking questions in the chat box? Maybe everybody already knows what protein is.
I don't see anything in the chat box, but
we'll jump
feel
right
free,
in.
folks, to chime in.
We'll have more discussion opportunities later as well.
Wonderful.
So in long terms, it's a numerous highly varied organic molecules taking up a large portion of every life form. It's necessary for all animals and other non-photosynthesizing organisms. there are over 500 amino acids around, but about only 20 of them are in the human body. They're a link of polypeptide chains, the final shape and other properties of each protein being determined by the side chains of the amino acids and their chemical attachments. Proteins include such specialized forms as collagen for supportive tissue, hemoglobin for transport, antibodies for immune defense, and enzymes for metabolism. That's a big confusing thing, isn't it? In simpler terms, the plant or animal tissue rich in molecules considered as a food source for supplying essential amino acids to the body. And the source dictionary.com, they know plants have protein because they plants are animal tissue. They function as building blocks for bones, muscles, cartilage, skin, and blood. They are also building blocks for enzymes, hormones, and vitamins. They're one of the 3 nutrients that provide calories, the other 2 being carbohydrates and fat. Each gram of protein has 4 calories. So it's very clear how important protein is and why people are so worried about getting enough. So I guess if people are concerned about you getting enough protein, it shows that they really care about you and want you to be healthy and want you to not just be healthy, but to thrive as well. So of the 20 amino acids found in the body, 9 are essential, meaning that our body does not create them and we need to get them from our diet. Foods containing all 9 of those are considered complete proteins. Here are the 9 essential amino acids. You might have heard of a few of them. I know tryptophan can be related to a few things. Lysine, I remember taking for immune support when I was younger. We don't really need to memorize these. We just need to know which foods we need to provide them to us. How much do we need? Since these are the building blocks of our body, and our bodies are all different, we're all different shapes and sizes, and what we do with our body makes a difference as well. So it's not, again, not one size fits all. All right, open discussion again. Anybody? How much do we need? Anybody have a guess? Put it in the chat box or raise your hand.
Yeah, and we have one of our attendees, Jeff, said, I think proteins are chemicals that help encourage cellular growth.
Oh yeah, that's very true. Yep, definitely. Thank you, Jeff, for sharing.
And
anybody have guesses on needs for protein each day?
I can't remember the formula, but there's some kind of way to figure it out. I think, like, for your energy export. Somewhere between 1 to 2 grams per pound of body mass. Oh, nice. And then we had someone else, 0.8 grams per weight. And then, and then someone else had a question, which is a really good question. Can you ever have too much?
All right. Yeah, good guesses and good questions. I'm prepared to answer these. All right. So, so here's kind of the general. For the average sedentary adults, it's about 50 grams per day, and increases closer to 175 for very active people. So again, if you're using your body, you need to replenish it. If you're using it more, you need to replenish it more. If you're using it less, you don't need to replenish it as much. You just got to meet your body's needs. It kind of equals out to 10 to 35% of your caloric intake. So for my friend Jared, who commented, he's very active lifestyle, loves to run. Probably he's up on the higher end of caloric intake. Same with my sister Sarah, who commented. She works a lot. She works really hard. So that higher end is probably really good. if you're kind of hanging out, you sit at work, you sit at home, don't worry too much about it. You're probably getting plenty in your day-to-day. And if you're the math person and like to calculate it out for yourself, 10 to 35% of your daily caloric intake, and then 200 to 700 calories based on a 2,000 calorie diet. So again, if you eat less protein. If you eat more protein. Thank you guys for interacting with me.
Yay.
All right. And then I also want to make a note, there is on My Plate, which is the government kind of nutrition website, they suggest 5 to 7 ounces per day for adults. So that's a different type of way of measuring it. They have a lot of resources on their website as well. And they provide a chart with equivalents of 1 ounce portions of protein, like 1 ounce of this food, or what portion of this food creates 1 ounce of protein, and you can do it that way. There's so many different ways out there. Just find the one that works for you. And here's Sarah's question. What happens if we eat too much protein? I have heard talk of, kidney and liver damage, that it mainly applies to people that might be predisposed to kidney disease. But another note I want to make is I think only about a third of chronic illnesses and diseases are hereditary and irreversible, and about 2/3 of them are lifestyle based. So it's definitely possible that some of these things might be harmful to you, but it's also possible that a healthier lifestyle will help negate this issue completely. And if you eat too much protein, our body converts it into carbohydrates and fat. So shouldn't worry too much, but just be wary. Again, if you're eating 200 grams of protein and you're sitting at home all day and you might be predisposed, just keep an eye out. We want everybody to be healthy and happy. So into the complete proteins. These are some of the main ones. Soy, a legume, 16 grams per 3.5 ounces, or 100 grams, which is about a serving. I would say, yeah, for quinoa and rice and stuff, I would say it's probably a bigger serving, but quinoa is a grain, but it's also technically a seed, which is part of why it has so much protein as well. Buckwheat, which is a seed, not wheat. It's also gluten-free for anybody who, well, I guess quinoa is as well, gluten-free for anybody who can't have gluten. Hemp seeds are quite a powerhouse. So just 3 tablespoons has 10 grams. I love putting hemp seeds and chia seeds in my breakfast, whether it's a smoothie or oatmeal or pancakes or whatever it is. They're so easy to just add into whatever you want. I've even blended them into like homemade hot cocoa to make them creamier, and because you can make like hemp milk, because they're so soft, they blend up really nicely. So they're just great to add to lots of stuff. Chia seeds, spirulina is quite unbelievable with how much protein it has for an algae or seaweed. So if it was going to be, and it's not because it's like really, really potent, but if in 100 grams, there's 57 grams of protein. So pretty crazy. And not only that, but spirulina also has a bunch of those nutrients that people worry about, like B12, vitamin D, things like that as well, because it's a superfood from the sea. And amaranth is also another ancient grain, 4 grams. So as you can see, you have a combination of these things, it adds up pretty quickly, and there should be no problem. To compare, here's some sources for animal proteins per 100 gram. As you can see, like the per 100 grams, these do have slightly to significantly higher amounts of protein per serving, and that's okay. The protein we get from animals they've already assembled it from their food into complete proteins. So that's part of why it's much higher in protein. And their diets consist of soy, corn, and other grains. And then on smaller farms, some of them are 100% grass-fed, and some are a mixture of grass and grains. So as long as they're meeting their, as long as they're eating enough food every day, they're getting enough protein. So as long as we eat enough food every day, we'll be able to get enough protein as well. And if we're worried about not having complete proteins, here's kind of a list of proteins that are incomplete proteins that we can combine to create complete proteins. So any legume, nut, or seed combined with any whole grain, which is kind of fun. Then it kind of gives you a little like meal activity to do. And I mean, who doesn't love rice and beans? Quinoa is technically a seed, but since it's also kind of a grain, it's one, and it's complete on its own. But I like to do like quinoa and quinoa or rice, or I think those are my two favorite. And then with like black beans or chickpeas or lentils or things like that. Peanut butter toast, all those hemp, chia, flax seeds, and oats, oatmeal. There's just a lot of really fun ways that you can combine to make sure you're getting your protein needs if you're really worried about that. Oh, and then yeah, the other note I just want to say is the reason that combining these works is because the whole grains, which amino acids the whole grains don't have, the legumes, nuts, or seeds do have, and vice versa. So they're kind of a great pair. And for other plants that contribute to our daily target, there's a lot that maybe you weren't even considering. I mean, everything has a little bit of protein for the most part. So let's see, which ones of these do I? Lentil sprouts are another one. The sprouts are kind of an interesting topic because a lot of people who are maybe low carb or have digestion problems or worried about maybe anti-nutrients or whatever with the like lectins or things like that. Sprouting can be a really great way to activate the grain or seed and open up and make the nutrients more bioavailable and make it more easy to digest and increase protein. They're also pretty delicious when you just put them on like a sandwich or something like that. Artichokes, Brussels sprouts, sweet corn. So as you can see, like with a variety of foods in our diet, it kind of adds up quickly, and it's not too hard to get our needs met. So how do we know? Sometimes you just shooting in the dark. That's not always the best way to go. So there's a few different resources that are available. There's apps like Cronometer, which you can type in your food. You can even scan the barcode of the package of the on the food. You can type it in by cup, by gram, by ounce, whatever you want to do. I've been a baker, and so I have a scale in my kitchen. I love using it. So I'll just put my bowl, if I'm making a new dish, I'll put my bowl on my scale and I'll just kind of measure it in there and I'll write it down. And I mean, once you track like one meal, like once I make my regular oatmeal and I track it on there, I'm not going to track it every day because I like to try to, figure out how much this has, make sure I'm feeling good about it. And then I just kind of keep that in my back pocket for later. There's other apps as well. Cronometer is my favorite by far. You can also add your exercise or any, like they just have so much stuff you can put in there so you can really know if you're meeting your needs. And then it gives you kind of the diagnostics of your daily caloric intake, protein, all the vitamins and nutrients. You can put your multivitamin on there, like everything you can think of for your diet, you can put in there, and then you'll be able to feel pretty confident about it. I did that when I first went vegan, and it was a game changer for sure. It definitely built my confidence, knowing that I was not only feeling more energetic and better, like, because when you track your food, you're also more likely to not eat as much of the processed junk, because you know you're gonna have to like put it on there. I mean, it's good to keep balance and have some comfort foods in there, but it also helps keep it on track and make you feel good about what you're eating. If you have the resources available for blood work, that could be another great option. I know it's not available to everybody, but if you do have that resource, once a year or something like that is a really great option. Interestingly enough, my doctor, I needed a reason to get blood work. I couldn't just get blood work. And I said, well, I'm vegan. And that was a good enough reason to get blood work. They were like, oh yeah, well, definitely. Yeah, you need blood work. And all my numbers are well within the healthy ranges. And if neither of those interest you, eating a variety of nutritious foods, just kind of learning about food and focusing on eating a balanced meals, and you should be good to go. Here's an example of the Cronometer app. So I took the first screenshot, and these are the same day. I took the first screenshot on that day, I'm pretty sure, or maybe within a couple of days of putting those in there. And then I took this the right screenshot just the other day, because I think I must have added to it that day. But as you can see, so this is bananas, peanut butter, chia seeds. There is an antioxidant seed blend that I think was at Costco at the time, and oatmeal. So I had oatmeal for breakfast with lots of seeds and peanut butter and bananas. That's my favorite. Super delicious. And as you can see on the left side, that was just the oatmeal. So that breakfast was 800 calories. I was already meeting 52% of my nutrition targets for the day. So that's just really awesome. And that made me feel really good, knowing I was getting a nice solid meal to start my day. And then it looks like later in the day, I had a scoop of protein powder. Maybe I did a workout in the morning. And then I think Costco had these Sunrise energy bars that were vegan. So I had two of those. Those were a great snack. And as you can see, with just those things, that was just breakfast and snack pretty much. And that was 50 grams of protein in almost 1,200 calories. So I was almost over halfway to a 2,000 calorie goal for the day. And already protein was like doing super great. So if I ate lunch and dinner, that would easily go up to 100 or 150. So if I was being active, that would be good. There's no problem here. Okay, so what else comes with plant protein? Anybody have a guess?
We have from Danielle commenting about the Cronometer. I like the idea of Cronometer. Going more plant-based can be overwhelming and seem like a lot at first.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh. And we have from Lucy for this interactive part, antioxidants. And Sarah said fibers.
Very good. Yeah, thanks, guys. Definitely. Yep. Plants have lots of antioxidants, which help reduce the oxidation of our cells. Yeah, blueberries, anything dark and colorful definitely has the antioxidants. Help repair our cells in a healthy way. You know, we're pretty much eating the sun. Those plants are just soaking up the sun, and we get to eat it, and it's very healing for our bodies. And yep, fibers for sure. Plants have fiber. Animal proteins don't really have fiber, but that's okay. We eat a variety of well-balanced diet. Thanks, guys. So, my screen is frozen. Up there it goes. Okay. So fiber, there's a couple different types of fiber. There's soluble and insoluble. Nothing you really need to worry too much about. It's all good. So the soluble fiber, it's kind of more like a jelly gum type thing. So it absorbs water. It kind of solidifies a little bit. It helps slow digestion. Like in fruit, when you have whole fruit, there's lots of sugar, which a lot of people can be afraid of eating too much fruit. But the fruit comes in a perfect little package with fiber. So as you're digesting it, it slowly releases the sugar so it doesn't spike your blood sugar and contribute to insulin resistance and things like that. It can lower blood cholesterol, feeds those good microorganisms in your gut so you can digest food better and supply your body with more nutrients. So things like oats, nuts, seeds, beans, and berries. I think oats are a really great example of kind of what it does in your body. So when they're dry, they're pretty powdery, but as soon as you get them wet, as soon as they start to kind of break down or get hot, they get really gooey. Oatmeal is like jelly kind of, so kind of what that looks like. That's how I imagine it kind of going through our body and just helping things out. And then insoluble fiber, I think of spinach, kale, things that are kind of celery, things that are stringy, that rough material. It's not digestible. So you will hear people say, well, fiber is not digestible, or, oh, you can't digest fruit and vegetables, so why are you eating it? It's not digestible, but again, it adds bulk, it helps your digestion, it doesn't affect your blood sugar levels, helps detoxify the digestive tract by helping scrape out kind of your intestines as it goes through, which is really good because our body can hold on to a lot of excess junk. It's just super gross. And then again, it feeds those good microorganisms, contributing to better digestion, better nutrient absorption. So things like broccoli, celery, beans and fruits do too, like the peel of the beans, some fruits that are a little bit rougher, like maybe apple peel, and then brands of grains and seeds, which are also higher in protein as well. Wheat bran, kind of that shell outside of that, that's a good insoluble fiber. Okay, what are we missing out on? There's a lot of things that appear to be missing in some plant proteins that are found in animal proteins. So we're gonna dive right into that. A big one that we're not sad to miss out on is the cholesterol. It's non-essential. Our body creates plenty of it in our own bodies. It's kind of a fatty, waxy substance, and because it's fatty and waxy, too much in our blood can kind of block up arteries and increase risks for heart disease, blood pressure, diabetes, even strokes and things like that as well. When I was working at a vegan restaurant, there's one customer in particular, and it's just these magic moments all the time. But this one customer in particular, he comes in, his wife is really excited, and he just wasn't. He was like, well, I had a heart attack, so my doctor says that I can't have any animal products. I can only eat plants. And I was like, well, we have only plants here, so this is perfect. You can have anything on the menu. And he's like, wow, really? And he picked some stuff that looked good, and the next, he was so happy and excited. And the next time they would come in pretty regularly, because it ended up being one of the few places he could go have a full satiating meal, unless having a salad or something like a Beyond Burger somewhere. You could have some real awesome food, and ended up just loving it there and just being one of our favorite customers. So B12 is a big issue in the veg world. Well, I guess it's not an issue because we know what to do about it, but for people looking on, worrying for our health, B12 is important. It keeps our blood and nerves healthy to prevent anemia. But is it coming from the animals, or is it coming from bacteria? And it's coming from bacteria. So traditionally, historically, naturally, the cows graze in the field. They're eating the grass, and they're getting some soil. And in the soil is a lot of that bacteria that goes into their gut and helps create the B12. So the The animal's kind of a middleman, and we can source very easily source the B12 from a multivitamin with a bacteria-based B12. And a lot of the times, especially in the factory farm setting, the animals aren't necessarily getting that from their diets because they're not grazing in the grass and eating the dirt. So a lot of the times animals in the factory farms are supplemented anyway, so we might as well just supplement ourselves. How common are B12 deficiencies? They're not as common as you'd think, and it takes a long time. I only know of one person, I don't know everybody, but I know one person who I think when they were like 60 or 65 years old, an omnivore, meat and potatoes kind of person, they ended up with a B12 deficiency. So it can happen to anybody. It's just a matter of making sure that you're getting that in your diet. So again, when in doubt, supplement. Other plant sources include nutritional yeast, fortified plant milks, cereals, mock meats, chlorella, another one of those green powders, certain seaweeds, and certain mushrooms. Vitamin D, which of course we know we get from the sun, helps with bone health and immune support, helps reduce the development of cancer. Mainly found in fish and dairy. We get it from the sun, but again, especially in Washington or any other place that doesn't get full sun all the time, especially with the environment changing, it's really one of those things most of us, especially in the winter, should be supplementing anyways, especially if we have seasonal affective disorder, depression, anxiety, things like that. DHA, omega-3s, again, a product mainly coming from seafood, aids in reducing inflammation, preventing decline like Alzheimer's disease and dementia, supports reproductive health, and reduces risk of some cancers. Really, really, really good for your brain. Super good for your brain. But again, the seafood sources are getting it from their diet in the algae in the sea. So we can bypass that middleman if we want to live a plant-based lifestyle and get it from an algae or seaweed supplement. We are missing out on excess calories. The standard American diet, the sad one, is more processed and caloric dense than our diets ever really were meant to be. And not to say that that's like you can still have junk food vegans or junk people eating plant-based who aren't super healthy and are eating like lots of high calorie things as well. So I won't say that's necessarily, plant versus animal or anything like that. But it's more common because there's less fast food out there that does have plant-based options and things like that. It's more convenient otherwise. So that can lead to a lot of obesity-related diseases. Again, the lifestyle diseases like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, cancer, hypertension, and stroke. A whole food plant-based diet or a whole food diet keeps you satiated with lots of that fiber, again, slowing digestion, filling you up, and promoting a healthy weight and gut. But aren't they expensive? Vegan food is not affordable for people because fruits and vegetables cost $1 million and it's so cheap. Everything else is so cheap. Here's kind of some examples. So I got some tempeh bacon up there on the top. Next is lentils. One of my so tempeh bacon, I don't eat a lot of soy, and I try to reduce the processed foods if I can, when I can. But I think the Sweet Earth benevolent bacon, that's definitely one of my favorites as far as taste and texture goes. That's more of a wheat gluten-based bacon. And then on the right, we have the pumpkin seeds. Down on the far left are chickpeas. I saw, when I was doing my research, I saw these falafel balls at Winco, and I was just blown away. Like, they're $1 for this pack of falafel balls. There's 11 grams per serving, and I think there's 2 or 3 servings in there. That just blew my mind. I was like, okay, $1 for deliciousness. And then I got black beans, and then down there on the far right is nutritional yeast, another nutrition and protein powerhouse. Price per pound. It really depends. So these are prices I got from a few different stores. So depending on which store you go to, if you're shopping in bulk or if you're buying it in packages, it can range. But let's see, black beans, lentil, quinoa, chia seeds, those things you can all find in bulk So you can get them as low as 68 cents per pound, or sorry, 98 cents per pound, all the way up. You know, you can get really expensive tofu for $10 a pound if you get like the roasted, baked sesame, ginger, you know, or you can make it at home by getting a $1 thing of tofu. So you can really make it fit your budget. And then as you can see, meat kind of same range for price per pound. Just kind of depends on where you shop and what products you get. Okay, what are some delicious things that we can make? And I'm getting a little shorter on time, so I'm not going to open the discussion up now. I'll open it up at the end. Here's some examples, some of my favorite examples. There's a picture of one of my favorite things to eat, especially in the summertime. And under there is a cashew yogurt. And so that's chia seeds, flax seed, hemp seeds, and coconut, and then just chopped up fruit. I really like chopping fruit into tiny little squares. It's really fun. So yeah, oatmeal with fruit and seeds. Again, it's like what I do for oatmeal or for pancakes. It's the kind of same combination of ingredients as I would maybe put in a smoothie or something like that. Whole grain avocado egg toast, which I use black Himalayan salt. It has a sulfuric taste, so you can have egg tasting salt, no problem. And then maybe with tempeh bacon, if you like egg bacon toast, veggie tofu scramble, cereal and milk, fruit salad with nuts and seeds. Especially if you're worried about the sugar content of fruit, adding nuts and seeds can help with the added fiber to slow the sugar digestion. Cashew yogurt, like in the picture. Some of my favorite lunch and dinners, because they're interchangeable for me, because I don't really have like specific lunch or dinner foods. I just eat what I like to eat when I like to eat it. Rice and beans with vegetables is like my favorite. And if I want to make a cheese sauce, or I have one on hand, like with cashews or something like that, hemp seeds are good for that as well. I'll do that. But here's kind of an example of quinoa with black beans and cashews. I think usually when I make that dish, I'll put some sesame oil, a little bit of soy sauce or coconut aminos, and then garlic, onions, and vegetables just really make it super flavorful. So there's really no going wrong. Wraps, lentil burgers, which you can do as a burger, or you can also do that in a wrap or anything like that. Whole grain pasta with chickpea meatballs, broccoli sauce. Stir fry, super easy and delicious. Chili and cornbread with green beans. Can make all sorts of delicious things. Here's some more pictures of some of the stuff that I like to make. Except I can't take credit for that bottom middle one. I do like to make sushi rolls sometimes with veggies, but my friend made that for me, which is really nice. But again, so beans, a grain of some kind, and some vegetables. The far right one was what I made for Thanksgiving last year. I made lentil loaf, and then I ended up just cutting them into slices and kind of breading them in like a flavorful nutritional yeast and pan frying it on each side with asparagus. Other sides and snacks to choose from. Cauliflower and dipping sauce, popcorn with garlic and nutritional yeast for like a cheesy garlic popcorn, crackers or chips with your choice of dip. All super great stuff. So other benefits, plant-based sources of protein generally use less resources. If you think about how, crops would normally be grown and then go straight to us. For animal proteins, we feed over 70 million land animals for food every year. That's a lot, considering, there's 7 billion of us on the planet, and there's a lot of us that don't have food. And then we're feeding those 70 million land animals who are alive for 1 to 5 years at a time and watering them. And then we're taking that land that we're watering and taking those crops and feeding them to them. So we're using about two-thirds the amount of land for the animal proteins as we would if we just cut out the middleman and grew the crops for ourselves. Pigs eat about 5 to 7 pounds of food per day, and cows eat 50 to 100 pounds of food per day. We don't really eat nearly that much, so less resources to feed us directly. creates less waste and contaminants, again, from the factory farms. Having so many things in such a small area is different in a small farm setting where there is like the natural land and things like that. But about 99% of the meat and animal products come from factory farms. So it's definitely the minority to have that less contaminated environment. Of course, for me, my heart-centered approach is to reduce the harm to animals and reduce the demand for the factory farms. And also it's really fun to learn new things and find new ways to cook. So those are all things that are important to me. So now I want to ask you, what do you think? Are there any other questions that you have that I didn't address, or any comments that you have?
Don't be shy, folks. You're welcome to unmute yourselves or enter any questions or interactiveness into the chat box.
I have one question. As a vegan, how concerned should we be about carbohydrates? I know there's a lot of push for low carbohydrates.
That's a really good question. What was that? Oh, sorry, I thought I heard more. So for carbohydrates, again, it's when you're eating the whole foods, the carbohydrates and fruit, all those things, they're kind of meant to be digested a certain way. The standard American diet with the higher processed foods are highly refined. And so it's the refined carbohydrates that are a lot worse for us because our body doesn't have the fiber to slow it down. You think white flour, white bread, things like that. So your body is just taking it. It's already broken into these tiny little pieces from the flour that the bread's made out of. Our body treats it as a simple sugar because those carbohydrates do get broken down into simple sugars. And then it thinks it's like table sugar. And so that spikes our blood sugar, again, creating that increased insulin resistance. So eating if you can go for the more whole grains like rice, even white rice, it's in its little truest form. It has its little shell. It's not as robust as brown rice, but it's not so high on the glycemic index. So just looking for those foods that are lower on the glycemic index if you are worried about carbohydrates. Again, the fiber really helps slow that down and allows the body to digest it how it was meant to be digested. And if you're eating a variety and if you're not only eating carbohydrates, if you're making sure you get enough protein and get enough fat, you'll be just fine. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you. I just have one other question.
Sure.
You mentioned that you use the black Himalayan salt to get kind of a fishy taste. Where do you buy that?
Yeah, it's more the eggy taste.
Oh, eggy taste. Okay.
Yeah, it's the sulfur. So eggs have that sulfuric, kind of like stinky, the rotten egg smell or whatever. And that's kind of what I miss when I they say, oh, tofu scramble. I'm like, well, this doesn't taste like eggs. I don't know if I found it any stores nearby, but I did get some online. It ended up being like an 8-ounce container. So it's just like a giant thing that I've given some to friends and I still haven't run out. So I would look for it online. It's black Himalayan salt, or I think the actual name is Kala, K-A-L-A Namak, N-A-M-A-K. But yeah, that I would probably get it online or try to find a specialty store that might have it. But it's a game changer. Again, put that on avocado toast or sprinkle it on the tofu scramble. It really makes me not miss eggs anymore.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I see I found out how to access the chat box. So what is do the supplements like B12 needs to be paired with anything for effectiveness? That's a good question, Danny. I don't think so. There is a whole topic on like anti-nutrients or whatever, but usually the supplements like B12 have like 3,000 or 300% of your daily needs. So your body will take what it needs from it. I'm pretty sure you don't need to pair it with anything specific. And Terry, what would be the single most important thing to switching to plant-based meals? Single most important thing, I would say, again, balance, making sure that you're not like leaving out a whole category of foods. Proteins, carbohydrates, and fat are the macronutrients. Making sure that you're getting those nutrients everybody's worried about getting. And let's see. Honestly, just preparing meals that you're really excited about. Like if you have your favorite meals and you feel like you're missing out on like your comfort foods, like that's not good for your mental health. It's not good for your drive to nourish yourself. So definitely find the foods you love. Try to find a way to find the best replacement for them. There's a lot of options online. There's also lots of groups. If you join a plant-based group on Facebook or things like that, people have really great ideas. And also finding the places that have vegan options in your area if you don't want to cook all the time is really important as well. Just setting yourself up for success in those ways. I like to meal prep. I like to cook a little more. Like if I make a meal for myself, I might make like 3 times as much and like have some for later because I don't want to cook every single meal. So those are a few of my favorite tips. Jason says, thank you so much for the information. We were vegan for 9 months. This was very helpful information that we were not aware of. Oh, awesome. I'm glad I could provide something new. That's what I'm here for. Dr. Douglas Graham has a book, 80-10-10, 80% carbohydrates, 10% protein, 10% fats. Thank you for that resource. And I just remembered, you said 80-10-10, and that did remind me, when you're going for a whole food diet or like to eat a little bit healthier, people are saying, oh, I can't have that cupcake at a party. I can't do this. I can't do that, right? It's not about that. If you're showing up for yourself most of the time, instead of saying, oh, there's no way I'm going to eat a cupcake, you say, I'm going to allow myself, right, to have a cupcake because I've been doing so well. And this cupcake is not going to kill me if I've been eating pretty good most days. So the 80-10-10 reminded me of the like 80-20 or 90-10. Like you can set it up however you want, 70-30. So like 70, 80, 90% good, solid, whole food. And then that extra percentage, eat your favorite comfort food. Go out and have a meal that you're not worried about. Make dessert and share it with your family. Like, don't be worried about being perfect because it's unattainable, it's stressful, it's depressing, and then there's already enough things we're worrying about. We don't need to be worrying about, and that also increases cravings. So then if you're restricting yourself too much, then you're going to bounce back, and then it happened to me one time. Like, I'm definitely an emotional eater. I definitely grew up on comfort food, and I was a vegetarian growing up, but I wasn't like a whole food vegetarian. I was definitely processed food, cheese, like all that kind of stuff. But I think I tried doing a detox or an elimination diet, but I hadn't quite made it through because I didn't have the support that I needed. And I went from the detox phase where I was supposed to add food back in slowly, but I decided I'm going to just try again another time. And boy, did I have the biggest 180 that I'd had in a long time. It was like bread and butter for like, I don't know, it was ridiculous. So yeah, don't starve yourself of happiness in the process of trying to eat healthier. Just do your best, just try. And trying just even one meal a week, trying a new meal every week, that's like you're a rock star. Like you're giving an effort, and that's all that really matters. And go slow. Don't go 100% into it right away, because that's also not sustainable. If you don't know what you're doing and then you feel like, well, I can't have all of these things, I don't know what I can have. Again, incorporate one new meal that you're excited about every week, and slowly you'll have a big arsenal of things to provide yourself excitement and nutrition. So any tips to ease the transition to veganism on your GI tract? I found my body has a harder time when eating plant-based. Great question. That's I think that mainly has to do with the fiber and that gut bacteria that we were talking about. So if you're eating maybe a lower fiber diet, or you're just eating a certain variety of food and you want to eat a different variety of food, and your gut is used to what you're eating, you go straight to eating broccoli and kale and like brown rice, like you just start eating really, really robust, different foods. Your gut is not prepared. There's not enough colonized bacteria in your gut to be able to like digest that. So that's going to create gas and bloating and discomfort because your gut's not prepared. So again, adding it in a little bit. So if you never eat beans and you eat a cup of beans or a giant lentil burger, like you're probably going to have some discomfort. So, go lay down, let the gas flow, like whatever, but like you kind of want to slowly incorporate. So if you want to start eating more plant-based, definitely add it in little by little, just incorporate it into your new routine. And that should help with the GI. Just think about you're recolonizing a different variety of bacteria, and that it doesn't happen overnight, but it definitely, it depends. I don't think it's like, it could be a couple days, but it could just take a couple weeks to go through that process.
Can I say something about that as well?
Yes, please.
Maybe even cooking the vegetables instead of having raw
Oh,
vegetables. Is that a thing?
Yes, definitely. Yep. That does, that's a great point. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, so cooking it can kind of soften a lot of those fibers and make it more digestible. Yeah, I think raw, yeah, exactly. Raw broccoli, like that. I don't even really love to eat raw broccoli all the time. But when you do, I don't know if you noticed, but if you're just eating a bunch of raw broccoli and raw vegetables, I mean, your poop's kind of firm and it's kind of like, it's not, yeah, it's definitely been doing some stuff down there, but yeah, cooking it can make it softer. And there's kind of like some talk out there, if you're interested in doing more research about the nutrient availability versus raw. So raw will have more fiber and less of the nutrients will be bioavailable. And in some cases, like juicing is a different story that like, squeezes all of that fiber out. But then cooking it will have a little bit less of that fiber and a little bit more access to the nutrients as well. So that's a really great option. Good catch, Sarah. And thanks, Leila, for your question. And Sarah's next question, do potatoes, squash, or other root vegetables have protein? Thinking about fall season crops. Yes, yeah. So those will have some protein as well. I would include those on the list of other plant foods that have some protein. Squashes, yeah, they're just kind of on that lighter end, but they still have plenty. Those are potatoes, definitely more of a good carbohydrate source and nutrients as well. And then yeah, squash is a fruit. A lot of the fruits are a little lighter on the protein. They're higher in antioxidants, fiber, and other vitamins as well. But again, I know we're, there's different foods we have access to at different seasons if we eat seasonally. But hopefully we're still eating a variety of those other foods like legumes and stuff as well. I think that's kind of it for all the questions. So I'm going to go ahead and just share my little closing with everybody, if that's okay. Okay, so now what? Please try new recipes and please cook with your friends and family. It's so much more fun when you can be creative and be inspired and inspire yourself. Stay curious, keep learning. If you want to live a certain way, you can absolutely do that. And it's definitely encouraged to learn more, please never stop learning. Get support when you need it. If you don't know things and you need help, or if there's parts of this that don't work into your lifestyle, there are resources out there that can help you, whether you like YouTube, whether you like meeting with a group. Then there's people like me, who I'm a health coach, and I work one-on-one or in groups with people to help them kind of build these new habits, check in, see how things are going, try new things, regroup when things aren't working the right way, so that you can really find what works for you and create a new routine that really works for you. Yeah, so again, just emphasis on the small steps that we take, you know, because they make significant shifts down the road. It's much easier to go down that path that you're trying to go on with people who are going in the same direction. So try to find those people that are going where you want to go. I would love to learn more about what's important to you and where you see yourself, you know, in the next few months, if you are trying to grow and change into a different diet or a different lifestyle factors. So yeah, let's connect. Here's my contact information. Most of you, though, again, we have the live will be posted. It'll be on YouTube. Most of you have connected with me directly or through Instagram or Facebook already, so shouldn't be too worried. I have my website. I also have more information on my blog as well. And that's kind of more my backstory, what's important to me and stuff like that. I'm just kind of sharing my ideas on there for now. I will probably eventually do more educational things, but I just like sharing my thoughts for now. So please share my information with anyone you know who might be interested. For anybody who would like to work with somebody and would like to connect more, I do have some spots available on my schedule to take on new clients. So I'd love to set up a little 1 hour free get to know you and what you're looking for session. If you're ready to get serious about your goals and dreams. You don't have to be vegan or plant-based, but if it's diet related or if it's just lifestyle related, I would love to connect and help you in that journey. And then stay tuned. My next workshop will probably be in December on the topic of Veganuary, which is a 30-day Veganuary. Again, you can research it if you want to know more, but what I can tell you is it's just a 30-day plant-based challenge in January. It's kind of start the year off with something new and fresh. So if you or anybody that you know would be interested in a workshop just to kind of educate about it, prep for it, and go into a group, not a workshop, but a group coaching program for January. So that would give group support, coach support, and kind of just be a fun little activity to do together. So stay tuned for that. I'm really excited to help people who want to do this stuff. So thank you guys all for tuning in. It really means a lot to me. And the only other thing that I did forget to post it. So I don't know if I should. Yeah, I'll share my screen, or I'm gonna get off of, well, first I just want to show this one more slide. Yay, thank you. And then I'm going to put in the chat. Am I gonna do that? Yeah. I have this recipe for lentil patties and chickpea meatballs. They're pretty basic, but it'll get you started if you want to get started. I'm not like the most amazing cook or anything like that. I eat what I like to eat. I'm pretty lazy. Again, I just like to make it delicious enough that I want to eat it and it nourishes me. And sometimes I get a little fancy. So it's a pretty basic recipe, just kind of ratios, play around with it. I like to make the lentil patties and freeze them and just have them ready for me whenever I'm like, I don't want to cook, but I need something nourishing, especially like protein or something. If I don't want to make breakfast, a lentil patty with some stuff on it is good enough sometimes, so and then the chickpea meatballs are a fun idea. Again, you can make the whole recipe, or you can just season chickpeas like meatballs, and they're like little baby mini meatballs. So there's just fun ways to cook. There's a couple things to kind of get you started if you want to try something new. yeah, please reach out if you have any other questions or if you have any information for me that may be helpful. I'd love your feedback, and I really, really appreciate the support. So thank you guys for showing up for me. It means a lot.
Oh, thank you so much, Laura, for sharing your wonderful expertise. And for those of you who are watching on Facebook, you go to the event page for this live stream, and I will upload those recipes up later. So we're going to say goodbye to all of our Facebook Live friends. Thanks so much
Bye,
for
guys.
tuning in.